Why do cultures perceive things differently? Imagine looking at the same object and seeing completely different things. That's because how we see the world is shaped by our culture. Our brains don't just passively record what's in front of us. Instead, perception involves 3 steps: choosing what to notice, organizing that information, and figuring out what it means. Culture acts like a filter at each step, guiding what we pay attention to and how we interpret it. From the moment we are born, our culture influences how we see the world. The beliefs, values, and traditions we grow up with become the lens through which we view everything. For example, in some cultures, education emphasizes understanding and reasoning, while others focus on memorization. These differences reflected deeper cultural ideas about learning and thinking. A big difference in perception comes from whether a culture is individualistic or collectivistic. In individualistic cultures like the United States or Australia, people see themselves as separate and independent. They focus on personal traits and choices. In contrast, collectivistic cultures like Japan or India see people as part of a larger social network. They pay more attention to relationships and how individuals fit into the group. This difference changes how people process information. Westerners tend to analyze situations by breaking them into parts and focusing on details. East Asians tend to see things as connected, understanding how different parts influence each other. For example, when something goes wrong, East Asians might think about how it affects many people or systems, while Westerners might focus on the specific person or action involved. Perception also influences how we see everyday life. In some cultures, mental health is viewed differently. Younger Americans are more open to seeking therapy, while older generations might see it as unnecessary or shameful. These beliefs impact whether someone feels comfortable asking for help. Even how we see shapes and objects can vary. Eastern cultures often perceive the world as a flowing, continuous whole. Western cultures tend to see separate objects and distinct boundaries. This isn't about eyesight but about how our brains are trained to organize visual information based on cultural cues. Social perception plays a big role too. People tend to act based on what they believe is normal or accepted in their society. If a culture values independence, individuals will act more independently, even if they personally prefer interdependence. This shows how culture shapes not just what we think but how we behave. Understanding these differences helps explain why people from different backgrounds sometimes misunderstand each other. What seems obvious or right in one culture might seem strange in another. Neither is wrong, they just see the world through different perceptual lenses. These ways of perceiving are learned and shaped by our environment, not fixed or genetic. As cultures change over time, so do the ways we see and interpret the world around us.